as they come up. So right now, I'm going to introduce you to Lynn Taylor. She's the manager of the Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism Board, and she's going to give you a little introduction about what's going to get covered today and who you're going to be hearing from. Lynn?
Okay, thanks, Melissa. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for taking the time to chime in and hear what we have to say this morning. Like Melissa said, my name is Lynn, and I am the manager of the Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism Board. And the Tourism Board and its partner organizations are responsible for the Tourism Assurance Plan. And I'm sure many of you at this point have heard of it. We've been certainly talking about it for a long time now. So hopefully you have been able to review the 5 minimum standards, which we'll review slightly throughout the presentation as we go through this. We do have a fine crew here from TCR this morning. I'd like to thank them for taking the time to come along. They will be taking us through some information on the importance of the TDMS operator profiles, or the tourism operator profiles, top forms. We'll give another acronym into the mix. So those top forms are actually quite important when it comes to our tourism assurance plan, because that's how we'll be capturing the information and if you're compliant for each of the minimum standards. But they're so much more important than that, because they have a lot of marketing implications, and they provide lots of great opportunities for operators to really maximize what they can get into the travel guide and what they can post online. So without further ado, I'll certainly turn it over to the crew at TCR. Here in the room we have Lynette Moores, Shelley Magnuson, Amy Fisher, Christina Turner, and Karen Clark. And all of them work in different capacities at TCR within marketing and within the TDMS system and collection of that information. So certainly a wealth of knowledge and information to share with you this morning. And thanks very much for coming. I believe, Amy, you're up first, right? So we'll turn it over to Amy and proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Amy Fisher, and I work with the marketing team with Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism. And specifically, I'm involved with social media, our e-news, and our news and blogs. And I'm here today with Shelley Magnuson, who is responsible for NewfoundlandLabrador.com. So the first part of the presentation, Shelley and I are going to be speaking to you about why your tourism operator profile is so important and why it's so important to our team in marketing. As Lynn was mentioning, it is very important for TAP compliance, but it's also really important for our team to be able to market your business, and that's what we're going to bring you through. And once Shelley and I are finished, Lynette is going to take over with the assistance of Karen and Christina, and they're actually going to bring you through TDMS web update in more detail. So starting off, we'd just like to let you know how TDMS, the operator profiles, are used. So they're really very important for the marketing team. Your listings, in your top listings, we use them in the travel guide. We use them on NewfoundlandLabrador.com, and we also use them on our mobile app. And in addition to this, they're also used for licensing for accommodators. So a lot of people don't realize that the information that they input into their tourism operator profile, where it actually shows up. So if you see here, this is a screen grab on the left of TDMS web update, and you can see that what you put in for your print description, word for word, this is exactly how it ends up in the travel guide here. So it's really important to be paying attention to what you are inputting into web update, because we use this information for the printed travel guide. Similarly, you see the web description. Whatever you input into the web description shows up on NewfoundlandLabrador.com. So every piece of information, and we call on the right, this is a screen grab of your business detail page. So every tourism operator that is listed in TDMS gets a business detail page. And this is really important because, as I'll bring you through in a moment, we're getting more and more visits to NewfoundlandLabrador.com every year, and this is really your opportunity to make the sale for your business. This really has to work for you, and this is a free marketing opportunity. Last year we had 1.9 million people go to our website, more people going to the business listing pages than ever, and this is where they're really getting a feel experience that you offer. And so it's really important that you pay attention to what you're inputting into the TDMS operator profile. And then we also have the mobile app, which we launched 2 years ago, and we're getting a lot of downloads for the mobile app, which I'll bring you through in a moment. And similarly, we pull all of the information from your tourism operator profile. The description, it's the print description, so the same description that you put in for the travel guide we use in the mobile app. So again, this really has to work really hard for you, because when someone is on the ground and they're wondering what they're going to do today, they're pulling out the mobile app, they're looking at the businesses that are nearest to them. We use the GPS in the phones, and if you don't have a good print description and you're not really making that sale, it could be a lost business, or it could be a sale opportunity. So it's really something, again, that's important to look at. So really, we just want to emphasize why this is so important. And from 2012 to 2013, we had 1.9 million visits to NewfoundlandLabrador.com. That was up 22% from 2012. And this is just indicative of how important digital is becoming to the travel process. More and more people are making their purchase decisions and also are purchasing their travel online. And this is really evident from the analytics and the statistics that we get from our website. In addition to this, more and more people are going directly to those business detail pages that I just showed you. There was 870,000 page views to those business detail listing pages. That was up 26% from 2012. And there was a 51% increase in the landings on business detail pages. So what that means is, and we refer to this as the Google effect, as Google continuously tweaks its algorithms, more and more people, instead of going through the homepage of NewfoundlandLabrador.com and searching throughout their website, they're actually going right from the search results page to a tourism operator listing. So people know what they want, and they're getting there more quickly. So if someone knows that they want to go to a boat tour in Bay Bulls, they're Googling boat tour in Bay Bulls, and the business listings for those businesses that are operating are showing up in the Google search results, and they're going right to those pages rather than going through the front door, so through our homepage again. So these are really big numbers in terms of marketing. They're free marketing opportunity. You know, we're talking millions of visits, hundreds of thousands. So this is really important for your business to be really paying attention to what you're putting in here. And in addition to this, in 2013, we sent 286,000 referrals to tourism operators. So by referrals, we mean these are clicks to your website or to your email. So somebody that goes to your business detail page, if they want to learn more, if they want to book online, they're clicking on your website or the book online button or your email. That counts as a referral. So we sent 286,000 referrals in 2013. So these are very significant numbers. So just to show you again a bit of a more close-up image, this is a business detail page. So, and Shelley will bring you through this in more detail in just a moment. But as you can see, it has your web description, which is 500 characters. There's a view website button. There's a book online button for operators that do have online bookings. We link right to that to really close the sale more quickly. You can list your amenities, you can list your website, you can list all your social media. So this is really a holistic view of your business for those 1.9 million visits that we get each year. In terms of the mobile, so our mobile app, since we launched, has had about 17,500 downloads. From 2012 to 2013, we had a 96% increase in downloads, and we only expect this to continue to increase for the following reason. In 2013, our mobile visits to NewfoundlandLabrador.com were up 100%. Our tablet visits were up 114%, and in total, our total visits from mobile and tablets accounted for 27% of all of our website visits, and even looking at the stats now for 2014 so far, it's going to go up even further in 2014. So we know that mobile is a game changer for the tourism industry. More and more people are being on the ground, looking for things to do while they're here, and even for trip planning while they're away. They're on the subways, they're in their homes while watching TV and browsing on their mobile phones and their tablets. So we expect more and more people to be downloading our mobile app, but this means that more and more people are going to be viewing your website and your marketing material from mobiles and tablets. So it's important to keep that in mind as well for your own marketing materials. And this is what our mobile app for iPhone and iPad looks like. In case anybody hasn't seen it yet, we encourage you to download it and to look at your business listing on the mobile app to make sure that the location is correct. The location for mobile and tablet is very important. You submit your lat and long information, so when people are on the ground, we use that information to display businesses to people based on where they are located. So we display businesses that are closest to the user, so you really want to make sure that your lat and long information is correct, in addition to all of your other information in your top profile. So just to reiterate some of the points, why are TDMS, or tourism operator profiles, important? Well, it's a free marketing opportunity to a large qualified audience. We speak to a number of tourism operators daily. A lot of people are looking at their brochures and things of that nature, but don't pay a lot of attention to what they're submitting for their tourism operator profile when, as I mentioned, we are getting millions of visits to our website. So it is a free marketing opportunity, and these are people who are ready to book or who are very interested in travel to Newfoundland and Labrador. So it's, again, it's a qualified audience. And we are noticing more than ever that business listings influencing purchase decisions. Cool. Hi guys, I'm not sure if you're still on the line, but if you're on the phone, *6 will mute your line so that we don't get any feedback like that. *6 to mute your phone line, and there will be no feedback. We'll get right back to it. Yeah, and we'll take any questions that you have at the end of our presentation, so don't worry, we'll get to your questions if you have any. So yeah, just getting back to it. So that business listing page that we just showed you, as we mentioned, more people are going right to the listing. They're not even going through our website. Some people obviously still are looking for that lure information and our videos and our images, but the business listings are more important than ever. And we are sending a large number of referrals and leads, and it's important that you make sure that you are taking advantage by filling in the proper information, making it very compelling, and also making sure that your marketing materials, so that when we do send people to your website, that they are up to scratch. So we just wanted to highlight some common mistakes that we've noticed, so hopefully that you can take note of some of these, and when you're submitting your profile this year, to really think about some of these items. So we noticed that we have the May 31st deadline for the 2015 travel guide, and a lot of people will rush to submit their profile, and as such, they won't really pay attention to what they are putting in the profile. And this can lead to spelling and grammatical errors. When we are publishing the travel guide, we do go through and try to make sure that information is correct, and we try to fix the spelling and grammatical errors. But it's really important to really look at the type of content that you're submitting and making sure that it's as accurate as possible. The other thing that we noticed is that there's a lot of repetition. So in the business detail page that I just showed you, there's a web description, and then there's also amenities listed underneath. And we see a number of operators who will repeat the exact same information in their amenities listing as they do in their web description. And it's really not taking advantage of all the space that's available to really sell your business. So Shelley will again bring you through this in just a moment. Also, really, you need to ensure that you're writing for the right audience. Our website really does cater to a non-resident market and the traveler market. And it's really important that when you're writing, that you're writing about the experience. So it's not just, we have color TVs or we have air conditioning units. It's you're on the doorstep of the ocean, you can see icebergs float by, really letting travelers imagine what it's like to have that experience with your business to, again, really try to make that sale. And the other thing is not taking advantage of the new fields. So over the past year, not only have we added new fields for TAP compliance, but we've also added new fields to help operators display more information about their business. So we have new social media links. People can add their Facebook, their TripAdvisor. So it's important to take advantage of all of these opportunities to really market your business. And then again, not being TAP compliant. And this is something that Lynette will really touch on when she goes through the TDMS web update. But if you aren't filling in the fields that are required, we actually won't be able to market you in our travel guide or on NewfoundlandLabrador.com or on the mobile app that gets all of these eyeballs every year. So it's really important that you are TAP compliant and that you're filling in all the fields so that you can take advantage of Newfoundland and Labrador tourism's marketing opportunities. And then, so the other thing is that people don't take advantage of web update. The majority of operators are still faxing in their forms. When web update is very easy to use, you can really ensure that your information, you're submitting it so you can make sure that the information is correct, and you can use it 365 days a year, 24/7. So just as an example, for say a festival or an event, if you don't know what your date is for 2015, but you have to submit your information for the travel guide by the May 31st deadline, once you have your date selected later this year, you can go in and update your profile so that the website and the mobile app have the accurate dates. Because if you don't do that, what happens is that when somebody's on the ground and they're on our mobile app and they're saying, oh, okay, it's Friday night, I wonder what's going on today, excuse me, and your correct dates haven't been updated in TDMS, you're not showing up. So you're not showing up for June 31st because it still says June TBD in your listing. So it's really important to take advantage of that web update because even though you're submitting your information for the travel guide for 2015, you just don't want to forget about that because the website and the mobile app are only increasing in views every single year. So you can really go on and take advantage of web update to make sure your information on the website and the mobile app is up to date and accurate. And then the final thing that we do see a lot of are people who submit their personal email addresses for their business listings. This doesn't look very professional. A lot of people don't actually, when they go to your business listing and they see a personal address, they often will think it's a mistake. So for example, if you're putting in, amy@hotmail.com for your business, people, and then your business not having info@boattours.com, it just doesn't look very good, but it also might make people question if they have the right email address. So it's really important to have a corporate business email in your business listings. So we ask you, when you're putting in your profile for the May 31st deadline for the travel guide, to ask yourself, are you taking advantage of your tourism operator profile and really taking advantage of all the opportunities that Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism's marketing team has for operators? So now I'm going to pass it over to Shelley, who will finish off the presentation. Good morning, everyone. Just advancing the screen here now. It's a little slow. Bear with me, please. Amy showed you a couple of samples, screen grabs from our website, and I just wanted to kind of reiterate a couple of things here. This slide here is what we call our search result page, and as Amy said, your descriptions really have to work hard. On this section of the search result page, you see this line, Aaron House, and it has St. John's.
the line there, that's your 15-word description that we pull from TDMS. That goes in your travel guide and this search result. And they have to work really hard. It has to be really compelling content that will encourage someone to pick up the phone, go to your business, or click on your business name here to see a full business detail page. So this is your business detail page that Amy told you a little bit about. And this is where you really can make a big impact and differentiate yourself from your competitors. We kind of joke around. We say this is like your eHarmony profile. We have a huge marketing campaign that directs all inquiries to the website, and this is your page to get a date. And you really need to pay close attention to everything there. Amy spoke about how people are viewing these pages more than ever before, so they are really critical and need your attention. And what we did as well, we made some updates to this page. We added buttons for visit a website, and we've recently added a link to your online reservation system. And we made those buttons, we wanted them to be very accessible to our visitor who comes to our website using their mobile device, to make it what we call finger-friendly, so they can really push them easily. And we added the social media links. The social media links that we have is your Facebook, Twitter, blog, YouTube. And we want to make sure that you get the correct URL address for your social media channels. For example, don't put in your handle, your @NLTweets, for example, or just put twitter.com. That's a common mistake when they're putting in the social media links. We need the full URL in order for the link to work properly. We encourage you to put in your business social media links rather than your personal ones as well. TripAdvisor is the world's most popular travel review site. So we've added that to the business listing as well. And this is where you can get some peer reviews. TripAdvisor is used by people worldwide. It's a recognizable brand where people can go and find out what other people are saying about your product. And they trust those reviews more than an advertiser would say. So it's really critical to give people access to your reviews because people use them for making travel decisions. We've added an online reservation system. So anyone who has an online reservation system, this is not a form to inquire about availability. It is a direct access to your reservation system. So this is where someone can go in, check your availability, give a credit card, and make a direct booking. And why do you want to do that? More and more people in the province are getting reservation systems. It's giving them that competitive edge. It's fast and convenient for you and your customers. Your customers can easily book from the comfort of their own homes. So imagine they're in Toronto and they're watching our fabulous ads and they're going on our website and they're looking for an accommodation or an attraction, and it has book online button there. Well, right from the comfort of their own home, they can click book online, go to your website, give a credit card number, and bam, you have business done. So it's going to speed up your cash flow as well. It's another great advantage for the online reservation systems. Use web descriptions. We've reviewed a lot of these business listings, and there's not a lot of tourism operators, honestly, doing this correctly. It's about listing, like Amy said, we have color TVs. The purpose of your web description, it's 5 characters, is to place the people in your business. What is the experience they're going to get? Why am I going to choose this business over another one? So it's really critical that you use web description. Using web update. Amy touched on this earlier. It's very fast and easy to do. If you have a new product coming on board, new pricing, oh no, you can't change pricing, but you can change your season dates, anything like that you can use, and that is available to you 24/7. I just want to touch on restaurant listings because we don't do restaurant listings or collect them. What we do is we have a partnership with RANL, that's the Restaurant Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. They have a website called eDining, and we actually pull in the restaurant listing from eDining. We worked with them in 2012 to update some of their data because it wasn't really working for us
our users need to know type of restaurant, style of cuisine, and lat long to make a decision on restaurants. So type of restaurant would be a family restaurant or a steakhouse or a coffee shop. And style of cuisine would be local food or seafood or steakhouse. And lat long, we really needed people to be able to locate restaurants because they're using our mobile app and they're saying, where am I going to eat tonight? And we need the lat long to be able to work on the mobile app. So all licensed restaurants receive a basic listing, and RANL gets all the restaurant listings from Service NL, where the restaurant licensing are done. And then members get an enhanced listing. And I'll show you an example. This is what the search result page for the restaurants look like, and the members appear first. This is a non-RANL member, so it's a basic listing. It's location, community, and phone number. But then a RANL member gets a full listing very similar to the other tourism businesses, a business listing, amenities, and other things as well, contact information. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. Just want to point out that all of our programs has a description. You can find that on the TCR website, and that outlines everything from our strategy to our markets and to all of the programs that you can participate in, and all of our contact information too. So if you want to pick up a phone after this session and give us a call to run through anything, we'll be happy to do that for you. So I'm going to hand it over to Lynette.
Can I answer that question?
Oh, sorry, Marty has one. Can someone book online through the app? Not at this point. It's on our wish list. We've got the mobile app was launched a couple years ago, and we have kind of a wish list of things that we'd like to tweak with the app, and it's not there yet. You know, other things that we'd like to put on the app include we have a marketing program called Packages, so we think that would be a valid place for them to go as well. But soon, stay tuned, and we'll let you know when.
And just to add to that, if we do manage to add a button to the mobile app for the online booking, it will just redirect to your own website. So people won't be able to actually book through our app. It will link to your mobile site. So if you do have online booking, and we do manage to make this update, then it's important that your website is mobile friendly and that your online booking engine is able to be used from a mobile or a tablet device. So just to keep that in mind.
Good point, Amy. Okay, we're going to hand it over to Lynette now.
They're just pulling up another screen there, folks. It'll just be 1 second.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lynette Moores. As Lynn introduced me earlier, I work with the Department of Tourism as the industry liaison person. I don't work directly with TDMS, so it was a great, test or trial. I started this yesterday, and our TDMS team set me up as a tourism operator, and I had the opportunity to go in for the first time. What I did find, it was fairly easy to use. It was very user-friendly. All the information was there. You could go through it fairly quickly. As both Amy and Shelley said, the most time-consuming, what I can see from this, is to be prepared. So before you go in and update your information, you really want to look at it as a marketing, from a marketing perspective. So what information is important for me to have put on my web update or to write in on my top form that's really going to sell my business. So the information, as Amy and Shelley said, it's what shows up in the travel guide, on the website. There's also an area there that isn't published, but our Visitor Information Center staff, as our call center staff have an opportunity to see it, and they can sell your business on your behalf. So it's really good to put the time and effort into these descriptions prior to logging into the web update or sitting down and filling out your top form. The great part as well, our TDMS team is here to help you and support you. The contact information for them is tdms@gov.nl.ca or 729-5599, and they're here to help you at any time. So the first time going into your web update, if you have any questions as you're going along, pick up the phone, give them a call, and they can help you or assist you walk through it if you run into any trouble. I'm going to log in now using my my information as I was set up yesterday, and we'll go through it. Okay, so it comes up first thing is welcome back. It welcomes you back. It shows when I last logged into it. And it asks me, what would you like to do? So I'd like to update my information. You have the opportunity to take a look at what you've done already, change your password. There's a reminder question in case you forget your password. The usual, if anybody's familiar with updating things online, it's very similar type system. I found this screen very useful as a first-time user. So it takes a look at, before you begin, there's some frequently questions. Do you want to add a business? Make sure you complete all your steps, saving your progress. So I'd recommend that you take the time, read through this. Once you've done that, we'll go down. You'll note on the bottom of every screen, the button to advance you to the next screen is in yellow. So the one down here, yes, let's get started. The very first section is your tourism operator profile. So that's you as a business owner. This is the information that we're asking for here, not your business information, but you as an operator, your information. We want to know your name, your contact email, phone numbers, any off-season phone numbers, fax numbers. Some businesses are seasonal, so we want to be able to reach out to you during the off-season. So that's why we ask for that information. And then so go through, check, make sure everything is correct. If there's any changes, you have the opportunity to go in and update it. Once you've completed that, next on the bottom. Excuse me. Then we go into our mailing address. We're still on the operator address. Press next. So then it asks me, do you want to use a secondary address on certain dates during the year? So that it's important for us to have this information. Again, if you're a seasonal operation and your address is going to be different during the off-season, to provide us with that. I'm clicking no. I want to use the same address all year. So this is a reminder because it's already asked you this, and I didn't put anything in. So it's prompting me, are you sure there's no other address? If I say no, I continue on to the next one. If I say yes, it prompts me back to fill in that information. So this is where you go in to update your business. So if you see here, it says operator, Lynette's test operator. I've updated that information. Now I want to go into the businesses that I own. So I've been set up 2 businesses. I own an accommodation, a B&B, and a webinar festival. So if I click under the section Businesses to Update, Lynette's B&B, we're going to go into first. I'll click on the button Update. My business name, is this correct? Lynette's B&B. If it is, I go next. And here we get into the information. So it's asking me if, does the business, Lynette's B&B, use the same contact information as the operator, Lynette's information? So this is where you have the opportunity to change it, because your business information may be different than you as an operator and where you want us to communicate or send information out to you.
And this is where earlier when we talked about people using their personal email address, oftentimes it'll get copied over from the operator profile into the business. So it's very important to look at this information carefully to make sure that instead of it being Lynette Moores at gov.nl.ca, which is her personal email for us to contact her as an operator, that it's info@lynettesbnb.com.
Thanks, Amy. So here we get into the information for contact information for Lynette's B&B. So contact name, manager name, phone number, and then as Amy said, so if I change this here, and we have examples on the side. My business name at info.net would be an example. I just updated my information, info@lynettesbnb.com, my website. And here's where you can put in all of your social media, Facebook, and it actually gives an example of what that would look like. So as Amy and Shelley mentioned earlier, as they're going through some of the common mistakes and filling it in properly, if you go on Web Update, it actually shows you an example of what that'll look like. Next is your online reservations. And that's where we had said earlier where you have the opportunity to put in where you book directly from your site. When we go to Twitter, blogs, YouTube, review site would be your TripAdvisor. Once we've filled all that in, we can go to next. So it's great here. I made a mistake came up, so it won't advance me to the next stage. But the page will actually show in red why it won't advance to the next stage. So if you notice on the side there, it says enter a valid email address. Please ensure your business name is included, and it gives the example again. So you go back and double check that. So I have to remove the apostrophe. And let's try this again. So again, it's coming up. It won't let me advance to the next page, but it tells me why it won't let me advance. So in terms of the email address, it's saying that that one already exists for another operator. Okay, so it let me advance to the next stage. It says update Lynette's B&B. Does the business, Lynette's B&B, use the same mailing address as the operator? So it's good to take a look at this, as Amy had mentioned earlier. Do you want the same mailing address for both the operator and your business? And this is your opportunity to make those changes to ensure you receive information from us, important information about any initiatives that we're doing, yearly updates, forums, deadlines. So it's either yes, use this address and it'll connect me to the next one, or no, edit the address. So it gives you the opportunity to go back. Okay, so it'll come up automatically, the address that I didn't put it earlier. And on this page, as we mentioned earlier, that's your opportunity to put in.
As we mentioned earlier, it's your opportunity to put in your latitude and longitude, which is really important for especially for our mobile app, because as we mentioned, we display operators in terms of distance from where the user is located, and then we also have a Google map associated with each operator on our website, so it's very important to get the right information for the latitude and longitude.
On this page as well, the directions box, it says this field is optional. This information will not be published, but it is available to our Visitor Information Center staff as well as all our call center staff. So if you want to put more information in there, for example, if someone's calling our call center and they're planning their trip, there's more information in there that they can use to help direct a visitor. Season dates is the next page here. So you want it to put in, especially if you are seasonal, if you're year-round, you'd put in January 1st to December 31st. But if you are a seasonal operation, it's an opportunity to list those dates here. As it says on the top, on the next few screens, we'll update specific details about the products and amenities that Lynette's B&B provides. So this is the really important page in terms of marketing. So this is where you have the opportunity to really sell your business to potential visitors. One of the TAP standards this year is liability insurance. So this is the screen where you'd put in your insurance company as well as your policy number. If we receive this information, for example, if you're filling out your top form, a hard copy of it, and you're faxing or mailing it into us, if this information isn't on the top form, you'll receive an email or a phone call from the TDMS team just requesting that information. For licensed accommodations, here where I'm a test operator, the information isn't coming up, but all your information will be here regarding your Canada Select grading, whether or not you're licensed. That information would appear automatically here. And here's your amenities section. So as Shelley and Amy had mentioned, it's really important to take a look at the travel guide, take a look at the website. Where do these sections appear? How do they appear? What can I add to these sections? For this first section, the amenities, is just tick boxes. So you tick what you have at your site. There's a number of them there. I think most everything is included. You can go through credit cards accepted, which ones are accepted by your business, any languages. We have French, German, and Japanese listed. And then this bottom box is your top 10 amenities. So this gives you an opportunity to provide more information. And in the travel guide, you'll actually see the amenities section that comes up. And as Amy and Shelley said, this is your chance to really sell your business. Talk more about the experience. What is the visitor going to receive or experience while they stay with you? The great thing that I noticed about this on the side, on the top form, it tells you how many characters you have for this section. And here as well, it says you have 500 characters. So as you're actually putting it in or typing it in here, you'll notice the number on the side. I've used 394 characters, or sorry, I have 394 characters left So it gives you the opportunity to use all of your characters, and there's reminders about how many of you used, how many you haven't. So you can, if you haven't used all your characters, you can certainly, go back to the drawing board, come up with some other more descriptives or an opportunity to add more experience to this section and fill in your all your characters. Once you reach that limit, it'll let you know as well. I'm just not actually putting anything that makes sense here now, but just to show you, we're getting there. There we go. I'm to my limit. So it says 0 characters left. So I've filled that box. So important to really take a look at these from a marketing perspective and fill them in. Use all your characters. Under credit cards accepted, that's another one of the TAP compliant standards for this year. So you have to tick in that you use credit cards are accepted at your business, and certainly tick which ones. Once we've completed everything, you're okay with this section. Next, this is the rates section. It gives you a little, it says up top, good for you to know, please note that you cannot change the rates filed for an accommodations license until the license expires as per the tourism establishment regulations. I've put in my minimum, my maximum, my rate summary. This is what's published, so it gives you an opportunity to let your visitor know. Your rates vary between 100 to 140, and it includes a hot breakfast. So just to add a little bit more information for the visitor. And next section, we go on to our descriptions again. Just as mentioned earlier, our print description. So on the box on the side, this description will be used in the travel guide, the website, and other publications. This is your short description. Then the next box is your web description. So this is the details page, the more advanced business listing page. This description will be used on the tourism website. You have a limit of 500 characters for this section. The one up top is 15 words. So I'm not sure if it was Amy or Shelley pointed out, your print description, if you look in the travel guide, that's the shorter section describing your information. On the website, when they click on your business, again, it's the shorter description that initially comes up. And then once they click on your business, I believe it is, then you go into the advanced business details page. Similar as before, you have 15 words. So on the side, it lets you know, I have 1 word left that I can put in here. Down below, you have 500 characters, the same thing as you're typing. It lets you know how many characters are left. It's a great opportunity to make sure you use all of these. You have 15 words, you have 500 characters. That's one of the mistakes I think that both Amy and Shelley had mentioned earlier. People don't take advantage of this. They don't use all of their words or all of their characters. Okay, so then it comes to, it gives you an opportunity to review your information that you just updated and changed. And it actually goes through and shows you changes that you've made and what you've now put in. So it's great to review that. These are the changes that I made. Do I agree with them? Did I make a mistake? Do I have to go back and change something? It'll show up on the side in red what changes you made. Scroll down through if you're okay with everything. I was playing around with this a little bit yesterday, so we have a lot of, okay, am I okay with everything? Save and continue. Okay, so that one's done. One of my businesses is complete. Lynette's B&B, I've updated that one. Next we go on to the festival. I want to update my festival. My business name is Lynette's Webinar Festival. Go on to next. This is my contact info for me as an operator. It'll ask you at the bottom, do you want to use the same contact info or edit it? Mailing address. So up top it asks you, does the business Lynette's Webinar Festival use the same mailing address as the operator, Lynette's test operator? If you do, yes. If not, it gives you the opportunity to go in and edit. Okay, this is the location of the festival. As Amy had said, important to put in your lat and long. Even though it says this field is optional, really important for us to have that information, and in particular for the visitor.
Hi, it's Shelley here. I just wanted to point out, if someone's looking for their lat and long, on our website, the TCR website, we have a section about map listings, and there's a little how-to guide, how you can get your lat and long, so you can find that there. Thanks.
The season dates for my festival says enter your opening and closing date information for the current year. So this is where you have the opportunity to go in now. This is for current year 2014. So even though the web update is for 2015, for festivals, as I think Amy and Shelley mentioned, sometimes when you're putting in your information for next year, you might know the month, but you don't know the exact date. So it gives you the opportunity to put that in. It's going to happen in May of 2015. Not sure of the date yet. But it prompts you, when you go into your web update for this year, 2014, you probably know the date of your festival now for this year. So it'll prompt you to put in the date for this year for your festival. And so the first screen for festivals is the date for 2014. So I put in my date, my summary, my opening times. Then the next screen is for 2015. So enter your opening and closing date information for 2015 below. And again, as it says there, if you don't know the dates right now, you can click next, or you can just put in the month and May 2015. You're not quite sure exactly the date yet. So then we get into more of the information regarding the festival itself. On the next few screens, it asks you for more specific details about the products and amenities that the festival provides. You have an opportunity to, in this section, you just click what's appropriate to you. So I clicked it's a traditional folk Irish festival, community event. There'll be an art exhibit.
Hi, it's Shelley again. I just wanted to point out that whether you're a festival event, an attraction, or a tour operator, the product, that's how people find you on the website. That's how they filter their search. So if I'm looking for a hiking trail, I'll go under things to do, attractions, and then I filter by hiking trails. Or if I'm looking for a boat tour operator, it'll, I'll go to tours and I'll search for boat tour operator. So this is really important for users to find your business. So it has to be product specific to you. It's your primary business. Thanks.
Next is number of guests. This field is optional. I just put in up to 500 people. Again, it has here for insurance and insurance policy number. This one, the TAP standard, so you have to fill in this information here. Once you've completed that, next at the bottom, and we go into, again, more information about what our festival offers. So the amenities, I ticked everything here as to what it provides. credit cards. One of the, as we mentioned earlier, one of the TAP standards is to be able to take electronic payments and credit cards. So this is where you would tick that information. As either or, sorry. So either electronic payment or credit card for TAP standards. But if you accept all, you'd let the visitor know that. Languages, again, gives an opportunity to fill that in. And we get down to our characters page, our top 10 amenities. And as mentioned before, you have an opportunity for 500 characters, and it tells you on the side what you've used to date, and an opportunity to fill the rest in. Once you're okay with this screen, click Next, on to the next one. This would be your rates for the festival, whether or not there's a price, donations accepted. Just fill in the information here. And the important part, again, your print description, your web description. In this section, under your print description, you have 30 words, and your web description, your 500 characters again. And same thing as before, it'll tell you exactly, I have 19 words left. Important to fill them all in, use all of your words, and 500 characters. It's going to let me know what I have left to use. Once you've completed that information, we go on to Next again. And as I said earlier, you can see, as you're going through, the most important thing is be prepared before you go into your web update. So this is the information that you'd want to know already as to what you're going to put in here. So same thing when you're sitting down with any of your marketing materials. If you're reviewing your website, your brochures, is it compelling? Am I selling my business to the visitor? And this is where you'd put it in. Update Lynette's Webinar Festival. Please review the information that I entered to ensure that it's correct. It gives you an opportunity to go through it. Same as before, if there's any changes, it would show up in red on the side. Here's where I fooled around with it, made some changes. You see red in the boxes on the side. If I'm okay with everything, save and continue. So it says that I've completed. I've updated everything. I've updated my operator information and my 2 business informations. If I'm okay with that, I feel that I'm comfortable with what I've done, I press OK, proceed to submit changes, or I return back to options. If I'm okay, I continue on. This notes section here, this is the information that I mentioned earlier. It says use the screen to add any additional notes about Lynette's test operator or its businesses that you think will be important to the Department of Tourism, Culture, and Recreation. So this is your opportunity if you want to provide more information to us, which the call center sees, the visitor information staff will see, our marketing staff will see. Is there anything else you want to let us know about your business that will help us sell your business on your behalf? This is where you'd enter this section here. And again, a limit of 500 characters. Then you press Next. Review your changes section. Comes up what you've done in terms of your businesses. Updated your top 10 amenities, update business. Are you okay with everything? Looks good. Let's continue. Okay, so it says here now you're ready to submit your updated details to the Department of Tourism, Culture, and Recreation. Some things that people forget to do, they get to this stage and then they log out. So you actually have to press the next button to submit your update to the department. acceptance here, this little, you have to tick the box. It says, I understand that the information submitted will be reviewed and approved by the department as soon as possible and updated once approved. I've read and understood the above conditions. You tick the box, and then you press Submit your update to the department. Okay, update successful. If you don't receive this saying update successful and you're not sure where you went wrong, you can give the TDMS team a call. Again, the number is 709-729-5599. So then you either, so it says I'm all done, I'm going to log out. What happens now, once I press that submit button, you will receive an email immediately from TDMS team saying that they've received your profile form, your updated top form. So if I went and checked my email box right now, I will have an email there saying that I've received an email from the TDMS team saying that they've received my profile form for this year. If you don't receive that email, again, you can follow up with us, give the TDMS team a call, or send them an email and just check into it. Any questions? I know we had a question come up in the chat while you guys were going through the demonstration. Peter in Battle Harbor, he said, we only sell packages. Do we put the price of the package in the rate section? And if so, how do we let people know that it's a package price? Just one second, we got to get the mics on.
For all accommodations, we do have to have a minimum and maximum rate for your accommodations. Okay. For accommodations, we have to have a minimum and maximum rate for your accommodations.
But this is Peter. If we put that up, people are going to think they're going to come there for the price of the accommodation, which they're not. So it's really misleading.
Hi, Peter. Shelley here. In this section of Web Update, there's a minimum and max, so you can put those in, but there's also rate summary. So you can talk about, and that's what's published, so that's where you can talk about that we have various packages available. So it's up to you to kind of explain that in your description.
So there's the rate summary. I got to look for that. So the
Yes.
accommodation, that's only the price of the rooms. But then
your rate summary of your product. So you can put, the lowest package to the highest package, right? So there's rate minimum, so it's $100, and the rate max is $500. So you put that in, so that'll span the price of all your packages. And in your rate summary, you can describe, we sell 2, 3, 5-day packages.
Okay, yeah. So that's different, though, from the accommodation part.
No, you have to include your rate summary for all your business. Yeah, we can chat about this offline.
Yeah,
you want to call the TDMS team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your product is a little different, right?
It is.
Yeah, but you need to put in your min and max.
Yeah. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks, Peter. I realize we've gone a little over our 1-hour time limit, so if anybody has to go offline, feel free, and we definitely like to thank the TDMS and TCR team that was here with us today, but they're going to stick around and we'll be answering any questions as we go ahead. I see that we have a couple of questions there in the chat. For latitude and longitude query, with regards to a festival taking place in 2 different locations.
You can actually add 2 locations for your festival within TDMS.
Okay, well, that's
so
great.
Each location can have a lat and long.
The next question, do we have to add building accessibility number and insurance info to be TAP compliant? Do we have to add building accessibility number and insurance info to be TAP compliant?
Building accessibility code is not TAP compliant, but it should, if you do have it, you should give it to us so we can have it listed.
And this is Craig, by the way, from H&L. The liability insurance number, which is different than the insurance number, would have to be there to ensure you register as being compliant.
So Celeste had a question. I'm going through my operator profile and I see the min, max, and summary of rooms has been excluded, and it also includes spelling errors and spacing errors. How do I change this? I guess that would be the web update online that we kind of just walked through. You can go in and make sure there's no mistakes or errors and make sure all the info that you require is included on your web update. If anybody else has a question they want to chime in over the phone, you can press #6 to unmute your phone line and ask your question. We have a few people typing there, so we'll just see if some questions come through.
Celeste, your question probably best handled offline to call the TDMS team. And Kathy Clark had a question about several venues throughout the city. Do you put lat and long for each one? Yeah, there is a place to put all the locations for your businesses in there.
It looks like the tourism marketing team over at TCR has answered a question about the building accessibility number and TAP compliance there in the chat window. Were there any other questions on the phone? #6 to unmute your phone line.
Hi, this is Alice speaking here, and I'm looking after the TDMS forms for the Feather and Folk Festival out here in the Cadre Valley this year, and I'm just wondering now, how am I going to fill out the insurance part of it? So the events are held in different places. How does that work?
Alice, Craig, I think what you're asking is for your festival, you're saying you don't know if you're covered by insurance, is that correct?
Well, I mean, the Cadre Valley Development Association is who is through, and we have our liabilities and all that sort of thing. However, okay, if we're advertising an event that's going to be held on a, I don't know, walking trail, whatever, how do that, where do we fall there with that?
Yeah, okay. First thing, let's look at the
TAP. The pond, where do we fall?
Right, yeah, let's look at the TAP piece first, and then I'll restate the question to the TDMS team, because I'm kind of a little bit confused by this, too. First of all, or Alice or anybody else who's running a festival, that you're covered by the insurance or by the liability insurance of the group that you're operating under the umbrella of. And that's going to require actually a phone call to your broker or to whoever the official is at the town or at the association to ensure that indeed you do have that liability insurance. There is some gray area in there, and we want to ensure that everybody's fully aware of that. And a quick call can clear that up. So assuming that you are covered by that, that would look out to the insurance piece. They give you the provider and the number, and that's included. The next part, then, I guess, is the purpose of the festival and the purpose of putting this on TDMS, and I'm throwing this out to the TDMS team. Is it where's the gate? How do I get into the festival? Or, you know, what's the important part of the Latin Long? Because to me, the business office could be in a different town altogether. You know, what is the Latin Long we want here? Is it how do we get to the festival, or where do I call if there's trouble?
I guess the Latin Long would be where the festival is actually located, like the start of the trail and the end of the trail. And usually if it's a walking festival, like the festival you're talking about, whoever is responsible for that trail, if it comes under the town or a private person, I guess that would be the insurance that you would have to use. That's what I'm assuming.
Well, yes, or if there's none in place, you get it yourself for the festival.
Yeah.
Again, the key thing is have that conversation with your provider.
The other question would be the credit card accessibility. There again, you know, I mean, Cadre Valley Development Association don't have a credit card. You know, we don't accept credit cards. There's only an association, right?
Yeah. Again, Alice, just in a general discussion of that, because we've already done a dedicated webinar on credit cards, but there are options for even very short-term accepting of credit cards. And there are other associations and festivals who source some of those things. So we can kind of have that discussion offline, but there are solutions available, and if you want to talk about them, we can.
Right on. Okay, thank you very much.
Just answering the question from Kathy about the Sound Symposium. The answer is no, because, okay, first of all, let's repeat the question. You're wondering, does it make more sense to just plot the instead of plotting each individual place where the festival is taking place? And the answer is no, because it doesn't make sense from a consumer perspective. Everything we do, we have to think about the end user, which is the tourist that's coming here. So if you have a festival, really what the consumer wants to know, where everything's taking place, what's going on. So when they're going on our website, they like to see plotted all the different places where festivals and events are taking place, so they know where to go, what they might be interested in, how far it is from their hotel. So from the consumer perspective, it is really important to have all of that information displayed.
The other part of that, Kathy, is that our mobile app gives directions. So if they're en route to your event that might be in Bowering Park, they can use directions and find the event.
Kathy Clark, Wary, by insurance do we mean public liability? I can't answer that specifically. We've referred to it as liability insurance, and that's a brand of insurance all to itself. That would be different than fire and content insurance. If you're uncertain if you're covered with liability insurance, pick up the phone and call your broker. They can advise you, and they will actually counsel you to make sure that you have sufficient amounts. And really, that's what the standard calls for. Do you have sufficient liability insurance? That's between you and your broker. We just need to know you have it.
Are there any other questions at this time?
So I think one of the cool things that Shelley and Amy do as part of their show is to do a critique of some of the listings that are on TDMS to see where improvements or changes could be made. Fair enough. So I guess if we've got any willing participants in Radio Land out here who'd be willing to have theirs put up as an example for some constructive critiquing, the girls would be more than happy to do that now. Is there any brave souls in the audience who might want their TDMS listing critiqued?
I'd be glad to do that for Grand Cadre RV Camping Park.
There's Alice. See, I knew I could count on you, Alice.
Why not? I love constructive criticism.
Oh, yes.
Hi, thanks for being the guinea pig.
No problem.
I'm sorry, what's the name of your property again? Grand
It's
Cod?
Grand Cadre RV Camping Park.
Okay, so this is one of the ways that visitors will find your property. They'll go to Plan a Trip and go to Campgrounds, and this is what we call our search result page. Then the user can filter by a type of park. So this is the products I was telling you about, region, by community, general area, and driving route. So that's how they kind of filter through. We know the name of your park, so we're going to just do an alphabetical search here now. Oops, sorry. Grand Cadre RV Tent and Camping Park. So this is your description that also appears on the mobile app and on the travel guide. So we'll have a little look through and see. Fully serviced off the ferry. We are family owned and make you feel at home. That's nice. We offer free Newfoundland travel information, clean and quiet camping, scenery a bonus. Yeah, it sounds really great. I love that you're referencing the ferry. You got a little capital F there. Maybe you can address that. And that you offer travel information. That's really a nice amenity. But is there anything really special or unique? Are you located near the ocean? Things that could set you apart and give that experiential description, I guess.
We're on the river, on the Grand
Yeah, I
Cadre
think that
River.
would be a nice thing for people to know. Your website address, do you have something that has your company name in?
Actually, that's our old website. I actually sent an email in to have the new one put in. We just finished it a couple of weeks ago. It's www.grandcadre.com.
Oh,
Okay,
So-
and you also have the opportunity to log on to Web Update, as we mentioned, 24/7 if you wanted to go in and put in that address. And just for anybody else who might be wondering, when you have, it's great that you do have a new website. People are weary of URLs that don't look like normal URLs, and this is the same with email addresses. We have some people who will have like u3123 at Simpatico, and those not having like a business name or just a regular www.mybusiness.com, users tend to be a little bit weary of that. So just to keep that in mind, if you're getting a new website and you're looking for a new domain, to really get something that's like clean and simple and that users won't think is a spam site or might have a virus on it or anything like that.
So I can change that myself on here.
you can. Yep.
Okay.
So we're going to click over to your business listing page. So right away here, this section here, you've repeated what you have in your short description, and there's actually 500 characters available that you can use to describe your business. And this is where you get into what differentiates yourself from other campgrounds in the area. What comes to mind, what I know about Grand Cadre is birding and the scenery and the valleys and things like that. So this is what you can talk about. You're not taking advantage of those 500 characters there. Do you have online booking?
No, we don't.
If you do go down that road, right next to your visit website, that's where that would go.
Right.
Our experience is that our tourism operators tend to like to book their first couple days and their last couple days, call it kind of bookending. And if you're near the ferry, so it might be a competitive advantage that you would like to investigate, having that online reservation.
Sorry. My problem is that we like to speak to our customers. We like to be the ones to speak to them when they're making a reservation. So maybe
Yes, and that is a really nice thing to do. You can still talk to them, but it's giving them the option. This day and age, people want to book online. They're 11 o'clock at night, sitting down at the kitchen table with their family, making their reservation, and there's an hour and a half time difference between you and Ontario or Quebec, and they don't want to call during the middle of the night to call you, and that's when it's available to them. You have to speak to, even though you want to speak to them, there may be a section of your market that do not want to talk to you, frankly. Now, you can still call them back and confirm and and start that relationship building. But if you're looking to make a booking and speed up your cash flow and make it convenient for your market, you may want to reconsider that.
Okay.
Your amenities, some of these can go up into your web description, but many can stay down in the amenities, such as your firewood and your showers. That would be the amenities part, and your experience, what people get from being at your campground more than any others. The helpful information has your number of sites, and this is your rate summary, which is great. It gives all the information that someone wants.
That little bid there for 80 sites, that probably is, I don't know how that can be changed, but.
You don't have 80 sites?
We do have 80 sites, but it's a bid that's showing there?
Very good point. We can talk about that. We have the same icon for our accommodations. That's a really good point. We can look at making that more clear because it's a campground. Mm-hmm. Thanks for pointing that out. Then you put in your location information, your lat and long. If you could just review it on the map to make sure that is indeed correct. And then all your contact information is there. And again, we would ask you to consider submitting your new website address using Web Update. And you have your social media links. So if you have any other, if you use Twitter, if you have any blogs or a TripAdvisor, do you know if you have a TripAdvisor account?
I have tried and spent about 3 solid days trying to get on TripAdvisor, and I haven't been able to accomplish it. I've filled out the information so many times, and they'll keep saying there's something wrong, and I just can't. I couldn't get a pass.
Well, that's their offline question, but Craig Foley can help you at H&L with some of those questions with TripAdvisor. And when you get that up and running, please add that to your business listing because it'll give your potential clients access to those peer reviews.
Certainly.
So hopefully you found that helpful.
Yeah, everything's helpful. I'm learning all the time. It's only our 18th summer, so I've still got time to learn.
Nicely said, Alice. One of the things non-technical, I guess, and maybe more technical, I don't know. I noticed in your initial description you talked about providing Newfoundland travel information.
Right.
And the Tourism Assurance Plan, part of the reason for the Tourism Assurance Plan is to protect people like you and anybody who's giving information about travel,
right,
in that you should only recommend people who are TAP compliant.
Right.
Now, a practical example of that will be, you like me, Craig is a wonderful fella, and he's operating a boat tour just down the road. So you should go down and see Craig tonight. That's a great tour for you.
Right.
I don't have liability insurance. Mm-hmm. Something happens on my boat. Guess where they're going to turn next when they start suing people?
Mm-hmm.
You.
Right.
So the Tourism Assurance Plan is meant to ensure that people have the liability insurance and are doing things properly so that you can partner better, you can get together and package better, and you have that little bit of assurance that you're covered.
Yeah.
So be careful in how you counsel people on the travel because it's a big issue. And I know that many of the big hotels in the St. John's area do not even have brochures in their lobby now for liability reasons.
Mm-hmm. Well, because we are the first stop, like we spend literally hours with a map on the table, pointing out places. Well, now don't miss going here, don't miss going there. We will practically never recommend a particular thing to do or a place to stay. We recommend places,
Right. And Alice, I know you're pretty keen on all this stuff, but I saw this as an opportunity to point out to everyone the importance of the Tourism Assurance Plan and why some of this is brought in. It's
right.
a pretty significant, it could be a pretty significant liability on a business if they were to give information and something terrible happened. It could come back to haunt you a little bit. So make sure everybody that you're aware of the ramifications of those decisions.
And just to add to what Craig said, if you are wondering, is this business down the road TAP compliant? Can I recommend them? A good way of checking is to go on NewfoundlandLabrador.com, and if they're not on our website, that means they're not TAP compliant, because we will not publish anybody on our website or mobile app or in the travel guide that isn't TAP compliant. So if you're wondering if Craig's Boat Tour down the road is TAP compliant, just type in Craig's Boat Tour into our search bar on the website, and if he doesn't show up, he's not TAP compliant, and then if he does, he will show up.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Awesome.
Did you want to do another review? Do we have any more brave people like Alice?
We're game.
Great. Like, this is critical. You're
Down 6.
This is what's so important in tourism, and if you don't understand that, lots of students.
Not hearing any takers?
All right, then. On that note, I guess we've gone a half an hour over our time, but with very good reason. That was a lot of valuable information, and I'm sure everybody found it very helpful. There was a link posted in the chat window for the TDMS web update system, so you can go in at any time and update your web business listing. And there was also a link posted for the TDMS contact team, so you can get in touch with them at any time if you have questions as you go through the web update process. Of course, everybody at Hospitality Newfoundland and Labrador, the Tourism Board, your regional DMOs are all available to kind of counsel you through the TAP compliance process as we're coming up on the deadline at the end of May. I'd like to thank all the ladies in the room with us today from the Department of Tourism for all their help and their wonderful information. They are really the go-to people for all of this TDMS and web update stuff in NewfoundlandandLabrador.com, and they're always willing to help as we go through the process. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining the webinar today. It will be available on hnl.ca sometime probably by mid-next week, along with all the other TAP webinars that we've done over the past couple of months about each of the 5 standards. So if there are no more questions, I'd like to thank you all for joining, and have a good weekend.